All right, and we're live.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us for today's Career Center Power Half Hour. We're so glad you're here. Today, Career Advisor Mark Quartz is going to go through some great tips about online professional communication and something that we call Netiquette. We'll be doing these Power Half Hours every other Wednesday right here on our YouTube channel, so be sure to check back for more professional development skills training from us. Again, we're glad you're here and hope you enjoyed the content today. So with that, I am going to pass it over to Mark.
Good afternoon. I am Mark Quartz, and I'm one of the career advisors with the Career Services Center at NCTC, and I am located on the Gainesville campus. I want to welcome you to our Power Half Hour, and I hope you find something useful today. My topic is communicating online, and hope you follow along. Since March of 2020, the world as we know it has changed forever. We have all become familiar with terms like stay at home, social distancing, pandemic. There's a new normal now where we're accustomed to washing our hands for 20 seconds. We also used to stand 6 feet apart now. And as in this picture here, we wear masks. We also are working remotely. And there's also, we have to do a lot of communicating now. Instead of in face-to-face now, we're doing a lot of communicating online, and we're talking with each other online. So what we wanted to do was just share some tips with you for how to better communicate online. So tips for communicating online. The first tip I would like to share with you is the definition of the term netiquette, which means etiquette for the net. And this refers to the rules of etiquette that apply to online communication. So you sound respectful, polite, and knowledgeable when you post online and when communicating with future employers. As a general rule of thumb, if you wouldn't do or say something face-to-face, don't do it online either. When you are communicating with your coworkers and peers, whenever you have to respond to something, stop and think first. Take time to think before sending an email or responding to an instant message. Check if anyone has asked it already and received a reply. Just as you wouldn't repeat a topic of discussion right after it happened face-to-face, don't do it online either. There is an exception. If you don't understand something, it is okay to ask for clarification. Also, remember, be slow to speak and quick to listen. Focus on what the other person is saying. Often we focus on what we are going to say and how we will answer rather than focusing on what the other person is trying to communicate. Next tip I would like to share is whenever you speak, speak to help the listener. There are a lot of times there's opportunities for lots of distractions. So make sure you stay on topic. Don't share irrelevant links, comments, thoughts, or information. It's a distraction and it takes away from the conversation. Also, don't write or say anything that sounds angry or sarcastic, even as a joke, because without hearing your tone of voice, your peers may not realize that you're joking. Another thing you want to consider is don't type in all caps. If you do, it will look like you're screaming. And someone who's looking at your post, just monitoring it, they may not know what's going on. If you look at these two memes here, there are two people who both looked at the same issue, same email, and they responded differently. The person on the left said, if you could just stop typing in all caps, that would be great. Meanwhile, the person on the right was not sure if you're yelling or if your caps lock is broken. And yeah, both people here saw the same situation and they responded differently. So you never know what's taking place. And these two memes actually um, remind me of a situation where um, I was working and we had a coworker who sent out an email and they sent it out to the whole company. And then several people responded back. And one person responded back in all caps. And then the initial person responded back. And then there was this tense, there was back and forth where they kept going back and forth. And the one person was sending all their messages in all caps, all caps. And later on, we were in a staff meeting and the topic came up about how to respond appropriately. And everyone looked over at the person who was typing in all caps and wanted to know, what was going on. And the simple response was he had dropped something on his keyboard and he was trying to get it off, and his cap key actually got stuck and he couldn't get it unstuck. And that's why all his messages were being in caps. And we all got a big laugh out of that. And that became our running joke. So whenever something happened, they were like, don't get your cap lead stuck. So just have compassion whenever you see something like that, because you just never know what's going on. Also, in situations like that, it also helps to use the right words. Always remember to say please and thank you when asking for help from your peers or when responding to comments. Respect the opinions of others. If you feel the need to disagree, do so respectfully and acknowledge the valid points of others. Acknowledge that others are entitled to have their own perspective of an issue. There are some situations where there's not necessarily a right or a wrong answer, there's just different opinions, and that's okay. And when you have different opinions and people disagree, using words like please and thank you can go a long way to keeping the conversation civil. Whenever you're addressing topics with coworkers and peers, speak with straightforwardness. If you reply to a question, make sure you answer with clarity and with accuracy. If you're not 100% sure, do not guess. Otherwise, you could really mess things up for your peers and they will not appreciate it. If you ask a question and many people respond, it's okay to summarize the answers from the group and then go and provide a summary instead of going back and providing a response to every single question. That would help a lot of people in the group. And when you do respond, be short and concise with your answer. Be respectful of others' time and make an effort and make an effort to not write a lengthy response to a simple question. Another thing that you want to do is always strive for improvement. Don't badmouth others or call them names. You may disagree with their ideas, but don't mock the person. Learn to use words that are firm but diplomatic, even when correcting others. You can be truthful without being tacky. If you refer to something your peer said earlier in the discussion, quote just a few key lines from their post so that others won't have to go back and figure out what post you're referring to. Before asking a question, check the frequently asked questions or search the internet and see if the answer to the question is obvious and easy to find. You don't want to go ahead and just repeat something and once you go back and look at it, you realize, oh, the answer is right there all the time. Also, check the most recent comments before you reply to an older comment. Since the issue may have already been resolved or opinions may have changed, the conversation may have changed during the conversation. So always check the most recent comments. Also, be forgiving. If your coworker makes a mistake, don't badger him or her. Just let it go. It happens to the best of us. Run a spelling and grammar check before sending an email. It only takes a minute and can make the difference between sounding uninformed and sounding knowledgeable. Now, here we have a couple of examples of how to write an email and how not to write an email. The example on the left, if you look at the example on the left, they have a short professional greeting. Then the message is short and easy to read. It's not convoluted. And then they have a short closing, and then they have the signature line. If you look at the message on the right, it has an informal greeting. The message is all run together. It's not easy to read. If someone is very short on time, they may not read this message right away. They may actually come back to this message later on and miss some very important message. Then if they want to just pick up and contact you by phone, they don't have your contact information. So if you had to choose between the two, I would go with the one on the right. I mean, the one on the left is more professional, and like I said, it's short, it's easy to the point, and it's concise, and it will really make the person reading it job a little bit more easier. With that being said, we're going to go to a short video and look at some additional tips for writing a professional email.
Hey everybody, we're back, and today we're talking about how to write a professional email. I'm going to give you guys 5 quick tips on how to write a great professional email. Let's get started. Tip number 1, send this email from a professional email address. If your email address is sexybunny5, it's not that professional, right? It's just not that professional. So make sure that your professional email is coming from a professional email address. The second thing, make sure that your subject line is searchable. I want you guys to think to yourself, if I send this email now about a summer internship for next year, and 3 months from now, the person who I send the email to is trying to find it in their crazy inbox, what are they going to search to find my email? So for example, the word summer internship should be in that title, or else when that employer goes to search for you, they're not going to be able to find the email. So again, number 1, professional email address. Number 2, a searchable, search-worthy subject line. Number 3, I want you guys to have a professional but not overly formal greeting, and then what I call the warm-up line. So that's going to be hi, John Smith. Hope you're well today. Hi, Bob Sanders. So nice to connect with you on LinkedIn. Hi, Jimmy too. Hi, Jimmy too. I'm so glad we could connect over email, okay? So it's the greeting and your warm-up line. You're not doing it dear sir or madam, and you're also not doing it, hey, Jimmy Bob, all right? So you're kind of walking that line between being too casual and then overly formal when it's not necessary. So again, number 1, professional email address. Number 2, strong subject line. Number 3, you want a professional greeting and a sweet, soft warm-up line. All right, number 4, the email itself. Keep it short. Don't put that entire cover letter into the body of that email. No one wants to open up a 4-paragraph email. That is way too much. So I want you to keep your email short, sweet, and to the point. Who are you? Why are you writing? And what is your question, okay? So your email should essentially be 1 paragraph, okay? You're going to say hello, you're going to have your 1 paragraph email, and then you're going to close it out, and that's going to be it. So keep it short, sweet, and to the point. If you are asking for an internship or a job, definitely include your resume and cover letter, but do it as PDF attachments, okay? And then the close, okay? A strong close is my 5th tip for writing a professional email. You're going to close it out by saying, thank you so much for taking the time to read my note. I appreciate your feedback, and I'm excited to hear back from you. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're addressing the fact that executives are busy, that they're taking the time to read your note. And again, you want to talk about that next step. You look forward to hearing back. And then I like to use best, Lauren Berker. Some people go with sincerely. Either one works great, but follow my tips and write a great professional email. Want more of this kind of advice? Tell me below. I'm listening, I'm watching, I'm commenting.
Okay, those were some great tips from Lauren, and she gave us 5 good tips. And if you are interested in learning more about topics like that, and other topics and receiving other help, you can contact us through email at careerservices@nctc.edu. You can also reach us by telephone at 940-498-6259. That's 940-498-6259. We can also be reached by text at 940-202-7184. That's 940-202-7184. You can also reach us through our calendar links, and those can be found on our NCTC Career Services website. And with that, we're going to talk about our next Power Half Hour, which will be February 24th. And during the next Power Half Hour, we're going to cover Career Lion by Handshake, which is our employment placement portal. So we hope you will join us for our next Power Half Hour, which will be February 24th. Thank you for joining us. We're so glad you was able to join us, and we hope you will also stop by and see us at Career Services. With that, I'm gonna turn it back over to Shannon.
All right, thank you, Mark, and thank you all for joining us today. We hope to see you back in 2 Wednesdays from now.